Okay.
Hello everyone, thanks for watching. Hopefully you've been following us on the Philippine tuning tour. This episode wasn't intentionally planned on doing, but because of this overheating issue with these FL5 FK8, it kind of have to be done. I don't want to just stir up any storm or anything. I'm not going to talk about brands of parts or what's good, what's bad. We've got cars running overseas at the moment in the summer, middle of summer, Philippines, US, China, with stock intercooler, stock radiator, and just from tuning, we actually reduced a lot of heat. These cars actually made it through the whole track day session, like 15 minutes on the track, no problem. The key factor is it's actually, I don't want to say it's detuning the car. You will need to reduce the heat somehow. By adding boost in, that's not going to help. Of course, running bigger radiator and all that helps, but it's not the key parts to fix this issue. We are actually struggling with airflow going to the radiator. As you know, there is a intercooler and also condenser, and then is the radiator. So putting a thicker intercooler in front of it, that doesn't help. Having the oil cooler on top, blocking the radiator, that doesn't help. So the core of the intercooler is quite important. It's not just about making power, but air has to go through and it has to be more efficient than factory. So there's more air going to the radiator for it to cool. Putting all the stuff in front of it, it's no use. And then another problem with the FL5 is, as you know, the side of the bumper has no vent. It's all smooth. So you can't run any core to the side, plus there's stuff in that corner that doesn't give you a lot of space to put any back cooler or radiator core, but it has to be done. The FK8, there's company that sells sub radiators. I think Mishimoto's have a sub radiator kit, and a lot of people also putting a thicker radiator in front or on top of the intercooler to gain efficiency on the cooling. That all works, but there's nothing being done with the FL5. And to be honest now, I'm going around the world at different track day. There's not that many FK8 running anymore. I don't know why. Goes to pretty much every country I've been to. New Zealand, China, USA, Philippines. No one's racing FK8. If you read on the internet, yes, the FL5 cooling has been improved, but it's still not a proper fix. Have to say, it's actually fucking pretty dumb. All these new cars that overheats, Corolla, Yaris, FL5, FK8, this shit doesn't even last around the track a whole 15-minute session. If you make it through, sorry to say, you're not pushing it as hard enough. We get these cars overheat in like 5 minutes or two or three laps. Particularly this car that's been tuned, the car actually only lasted 1 lap, and the oil temp was skyrocketing high, water temp was skyrocketing high, and this car does have the good brand radiator and oil cooler and decent brand intercooler, okay? But it's actually going backward. The stock car actually lasted. All these cars were on the same engine oil. The tires were the same, brake pads the same. Only difference is like weight and then also aero. That doesn't help top speed. In this episode, hopefully you get to see the comparison between the two cars. Mostly focus on the oil temperature and the water temperature. Because the car is tuned, that's kind of the reason why it's causing it, but that the car actually went faster or the stock car's actually faster, you have to watch and see. I try to drive the most consistent as I can, but there's traffic on the track that within my control. But it goes to same like you driving your car. Of course, I'll probably push it a little bit harder or faster than the owner of these cars, but that gives you a good indication, and I'm not holding back. I actually resolved all this issue on my own FK8, but now all these mates and friends are racing the FL5 or running the FL5, and they have an issue. It's not that I don't share how my setup is, but not a lot of people willing to invest that much money on parts and development as well. So I'm trying to find a new way to resolve this overheating issue. We've done a lot of stuff in the past, but it never went internet, so there's no proof that, oh, I've done this, I've done that. So hopefully in the next couple of months, we can find a solution, and a solution that you can actually fit it yourself instead of buying a brand of kit, etc., etc. I'm not planning to sell anything. If this works, cool, everybody get to use it, then it will resolve a lot of problem. And then also try to reduce the cost as much as we can. But of course, you have to pay for good quality parts, fittings, oil cooler core, or the radiator core. It is what it is. So if you want it the best, of course you have to pay for the best. That's if you want a good result. So, well, we have to talk about the tune in this FL5 in this customer's car. So he had all the bolts undone, and then the car got tuned. As you can see from the result here, the peak power only gained a few kilowatts. The car had a bolt on, so the turbo maybe it maxed out, but you can see down low there's a lot of boost got added in or ramped in. It actually goes over 2 bar, right? But I'm just trying to talk about or focus on a street tune versus a circuit tune, or a tune that would last going around the track a whole session. We've got 2 guys, actually got 3 cars testing overseas, one in Philippines, one in America, one in China. Pretty much we put a stock tune back in the car and adjusted a few things, and the car actually lasts the whole session now. The car actually doesn't overheat. And we're talking, well, ambient temperature over 30 degrees, 30 to 35 actually. And then we just had, so this red car we're testing at Hampton Down last week, we were testing at about 17, 18 degree ambient temperature. And then it was still overheating in 1 lap. And then we take have a look at this other tune with a different car. This is the AEF ratio and the boost curve. As you can see, the boost being added in a lot, still in over 2 bar, is slightly different to the car that we're driving at Hampton. But then if you look at the Honda map or what's been given as a base map, the results actually pretty good. So this is another car that's been dynoed recently. It looks exactly like what Honda posted up on their page. As you can see, the peak power gain, this car only had basic mod. I finished still at stock exhaust, but the peak power gain, it's almost 40 kilowatts. The tune is probably still quite aggressive down low, but the peak power did gain a lot just from the cam angle adjustment. Yeah, so what I would think is what I've been doing now, I've made 2 tune for most friends and customers. There's one for circuit, which is actually lower boost, and then there's another map for street. So with Honda, that's actually kind of an advantage. You can have your car really preppy, really aggressive on the street. So we take it, and then you take it to the track, you load your circuit map back in, and then you will still have enough power. It will still be better than what's factory. At least the AF mixture and stuff is better, and the car won't overheat. But long term, we still have to sort out this water temp overheating issue. A lot of cars nowadays actually had a lot of sub radiators, if you know, BMWs. Even my GR86 from Japan has actually got a sub radiator, which sorted out the overheating issue we had on the first outing at Scuba. It worked. It kept the engine cool. It didn't go to limp mode. That's what's the most important part. It doesn't matter how much power you put into these cars, how fast they will go. If the car overheats, everything just cuts back. So it's pretty much no use. So hopefully we'll get to the end of this tunnel, so everybody enjoys the FL5 and FK8 more around the track and not worry about these overheating issue. As the video goes on, I'll explain more stuff and talk you guys through. We might have to have an extra episode because it's getting quite long and I'm not sure if everybody wants to hear my talking, so let's start this episode.
One eternity later.
Hi guys, finally back in New Zealand. Just landed 2 days ago. Big temperature change. So we are here today at another track time track day. So I'll be driving some Civic Type R FL5. Probably doing some coaching with some new drivers. And also it is the perfect condition to do a good lap. It's very similar like we're at Scuba at the moment. It's 10 degrees. Weather's looking okay. Slight overcast, so there's not going to get much temperature on the track, which is a good thing and bad thing. Just need to make sure you get the tires fully warmed up. Good thing is these FL5 runs pretty hot, so with this temperature right now, they will perform a lot better and it should last a little bit longer. So let's go, we'll get it signed in and make the way out. Here's Sam's Type R, a lot of spoon goodies on it, including this very expensive bonnet vent. Spoon lips, spoon wheels, genuine spoiler, runs a R1 TR exhaust. Fourth running Ennis brake pads, front and rear. Same goes to all these cars. The cars we'll be driving today will be Rango's FL5. Brand new set of rims and tyres. Just got the alignment done not long ago. Specifically set up for Hampton. Let's see what I can do today. This APR spoiler might be slowing down or slowing us down on the straight, but see what happens. Looks good for sure. We've got 2 Type R's in the gang today. I think there's about 10 cars here. Another FL5 on CEs. Everyone's on RE71 RS. Very grippy tyres for sure, but it wears out really quick. So on in his pants. Rango's car, pretty much just all the bolts on. It's got a PWR radiator and a greedy oil cooler, I believe. Could be wrong. It's got the Funk Motorsport turbo blanket. Keeps the heat in. It's TI. Grip aim intake. It's got the special duct behind the grille. PRL intercooler. It's got the radium overflow tank. Still on just stock suspension, lowering spring. Got a custom alignment. Part raised front camera arm, rear camera arm.
too much。小女房望住啊！
你使唔使再做時間先？應該跑咗14嘅，其實跑咗14㗎。擺住先咯，擺咗先咯，都係吹動翻去先。Good session, but a lot of traffic, as you can see from the in-car. The tire pressure was way too high, so I didn't really send it. So I just pushed 2 laps, sort of. Once the oil temp gets to 145 degrees, it's just, the power just cuts back so much, it's not even funny. But yeah, the car's probably got a mid-14 in it, pretty doable as it is. Just have to get all the tire pressure right. We'll probably change the suspension a little bit. It's quite bouncy on the last turn and also out turn 3. You'll probably see the car hopping. The back end was just a bit too stiff.
If we can make the back squat a little bit going through the turn, I'm going to pick up some time because I can't really get on the throttle. But first drive, awesome. Thanks for the drive, Brango. Yeah, so with more camber on the left front, this corner, the last corner coming up the sweeper is really good. Not getting any understeer at all. So stock car is good for a 115. Happy?
Super happy!
So I've only done brake pads and tyres and wheels.
Right?
Yeah, so they just let it cool down. The temperature was good. Water got, I think, tyres was, you can see there's no bullshit, 103, and then the oil temp is 130. And we got a rank S plus.
Oh, it's plus again.
It's pretty good.
Look at the average speed, 126, man.
有咩感受啊？
感受好，
嚇，
好玩，
好玩啊！
你個 camper 得
個拉文得，
得啊，
係要搞掂我哋嘅過熱情況先。
係過熱，
係咯，
係啊，
咁呢架車仲未 set 下拉文，都可以跑到咁嘅時間啦。所以如果再加下拉文，再調一調佢，其實可以做愉快嘅。
其實我需唔需要做個 final alignment 嘅？
唔係，因為你 Ringo 架車有 camber 嗰啲係教咗嘅。係啊。係啊，咁你都要試咗而家呢個設定係可以幾快先。如果你架車再教 camber 咧，至少應該快1秒。係啊，你見佢部車，佢輕力已經可以而家18、17完全冇問題，因為架車轉到彎。之前就係因為個胎成日叫住。
尤其是熱咗之後轉唔到彎。
係咯。嗱，好大分別啊！
好大分別。
唔係即係我唔好指我意思係，而家我今次玩完呢次，我使唔使再做多次？
係我哋都唔使噶啦，唔使噶啦。係我哋要搞掂呢個散熱問題啫，即係咁樣玩落去。
係咯。
唔係波。
又係又係淨係第一圈㗎咋。係。之後嗰啲又係。
然後直路又慢，部原裝車差唔多8K、10K。
冇慢，直路慢。點解啊？
因為太熱咯，過熱冇辦法。佢個電腦撳得好低，即係唔好講笑，裝翻條原裝分 pipe 落去，對翻個原裝 program 翻架車仲快2秒。起碼架車你已經有散熱啲嘢，肯定唔會過熱啦。部原裝車都唔過熱啦，係咪先 ？Well， 所以我哋要嚟試車咯，唔試車係唔知嘅。係啦。Look at the top speed comparison. So the stock car, the top speed is actually faster. top speed we got on that 15.97 lap. When the 5 pass is 205. So we go to the end. 205. I think a little bit faster, so 205.9. This is a stock car. And then we're gonna go look at the tuned car. It might be the APR spoiler is creating a lot of downforce. Yeah, so that rear spoiler must be creating a lot of downforce. So the top speed, it's probably like 10 k's difference, up to 10 k's difference. So this is the 1 minute 15 lap, the first lap that we did a flying through. I don't think it was that fast, to be honest. 190. So with Rengo's car, the front straight only got to 198, but that could be caused from the big APR spoiler. Pretty sad. The car overheats after a lap. It's not very good, but that's why we have to come and test it, because he's kept complaining about it and we didn't know what it was. Yeah, there's a lot of rake angle on the spoiler because he wanted to look better, so he actually tilted down for more downforce, but it's actually hurting the top speed on the straight. This track don't actually need that much spoiler, to be honest, unless the car gains another 20 k's, then the spoiler will probably be useful under braking in turn 1 and also in the last turn. But as it is at the moment, probably the stock spoiler with less drag will probably be better. But frustrated, right? Spend all this money to make your car faster, but it's not working out at the moment. Quite an interesting day. We get to test out 2 cars very similar. Brakes the same, tires the same. One car is pretty much stock, just on lowering spring, but no modification on power. Stock intake, stock exhaust, everything stock, versus the car with a tune, with intake, front pipe exhaust, oil cooler, radiator. The car gets overheat after 1 lap. Even though I was cruising at the first lap, the temperature still got really hot, and then I've actually drove 3 cars today. I drove another car which is 100% stock, even running stock Honda engine oil, and I sent it for about 4 or 5 laps. It wasn't a really fast lap time, 119, something like that, consistently. No overheating at all. Next car, also stock, no mods, no tune. It lasted 2 or 3 laps, because I already got down to like a 115 area. Didn't really want to push it too fast, but I think a stock car with good tires and brakes is probably good for like a mid 14 or low 14 at Hamilton. I mean, if you look at a GR86 Cup car, they do similar time with less horsepower. Of course the car's lighter. They are also on RE70 and RS. So back to the drawing board. Gonna find a way to fix this overheating issue. 4 cars here had the same problem, same mods, PWR, radiator, oil cooler, all that's all done, but it's still overheating. I don't think it's anything to do with parts. It's just the way it's tuned is maybe too aggressive, because the boost just comes on too early and too hard. There's a lot of loading mid-corner, so that causes that. I mean, if we load a stock tune back in with the supporting coolant and radiator mod, it should be better than the stock car, and it should last the whole session without overheating and the power being cut back. So let's see. We're gonna make a plan and see how we're gonna resolve this issue. So stay tuned, and thanks for watching. Thanks.